Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Truth Hurts. I'm Andrew, the Love Doctor, and I specialize in breakups or catching people creeping, lying, and cheating in relationships. Today I'm going to be discussing red flag number 296, addiction and narcissism. My sister asked me to omit chapter 21, the online war, but I refused to do so people can see exactly what happens on the internet. People that read my book are amazed at how identical the bullshit is with Kim Wilson and Kill Jezebel. Now I'm certain KW and KJ are going to act like victims with this exposure video, but keep in mind, victims don't start shit. Narcissists start shit, then act like victims when a person responds to their abuse. This video is sending a powerful message to anyone struggling with a vice. I'm not ashamed of discussing my vice because it's a fact of life. Just as everyone has narcissistic behavior, everyone has a vice. Be it sex, drugs, gambling, etc., etc., etc. It's shameful to be on drugs. It's not shameful to be in recovery. I'm in recovery. Only ignorant people will try to belittle someone when they are struggling. Give no one that power over you. KW's statement, and I quote, "That crackerjack junkie is going to end up in a jail cell." Look at Kim Wilson and look at myself and see which one looks like the junkie. I look like, why can't I get off of this shit? Kim looks like, how can I get more shit? Just because you have an addiction doesn't give people the right to abuse you. And you definitely don't have to put up with it. When someone like Kim Wilson and Kill Jezebel tries to intimidate you with your insecurities, look at what they're doing in their lives and call them out on it. Prime example. Observe the alcoholic Kill Jezebel, who has a master's degree, filming herself drunk driving in her video, "My event was a huge success." Then admits in the very next video, filmed minutes later, how she's still tipsy, taking it as a joke. Some people's going to set her up to get arrested for drunk driving. Since they're not using drugs, they should be doing better than you. Challenge them with your accomplishments. Humiliate them by comparing your activities to theirs. And show them how a drug addict is doing better than them. That will make them look worse than you. That was done with Judy in the second book, and it worked. Judy is busy feeding KW and KJ personal information about me, but leaving out certain information that's documented about her in the Library of Congress. And I'm quoting one character within the book. You didn't notice, but Judy called me every night you went out complaining about the situation. I told her to save up her money and leave you. But I know she wasn't going to do that because she's too lazy for that. Then she would have to fend for herself. She's going to deny it, but she depended on you to do everything for her. She'd rather stay with you, so you can handle the bills, take care of everything that needs to be done. That's what was important for her. She didn't give a damn about her kids being around an addict, like she's trying to proclaim to everyone on Facebook. That point is moot, because there was always addicts around those kids, long before you came on the scene. And of them all, you were the best. You go to their parties, everyone sniffing coke, everyone drinking till they're either fighting or cussing each other out. And she has the nerve to try to talk about your family. Get the fuck out of here. Concerning your problems, Look at the differences in the apartments you lived in when you met her, and the house where you ended up in residing. You lived in a beautiful block with a beautiful house that you was completely happy with. With her, you ended up in a building which the lobby looked like a basement with roaches crawling on the walls while waiting for an elevator that's always broken down. During the initial walkthrough of that building with the broker, there's a written note on the elevator that says, "Please don't urinate in the elevator." And the only reason why you ended up taking that apartment was because of Judy's children. No landlord or realtor or broker in New York would give you a 2-bedroom apartment that you could afford with 6 people in a bed. I know you coming on to 15 years, Drew. I met your parents. The house you grew up in. You're my best friend. You're like a brother to me. I know what you are and what you are capable of. I know because I observed you closely. How you interact with me and others. And if it's one thing I do know, I know you're not grimy. You have certain morals and ethics about you. Therefore, no one can come to me and talk shit about you. Life's quote. As my friend, if you hear someone talking shit about me, you either check them or let me know, preferably both. If you stay and entertain the convo, you're thick as hell. One day you came to my house to work on a project, and I have to tell you, you were looking horrible, Drew. Then it hit me. It's her. If someone is by themselves for 15 years and maintaining their dignity, and then get with someone and start falling apart, it's them. They're the cause. And it's not hard to wonder why. You was expecting a loving family atmosphere, which none of those ratchet family members of Judy's family knows about. Even my mother witnessed the atmosphere when she came to visit the new house you were in. She said Andrew gets her this lovely house, and Judy allows her children to disrespect him. She will live to regret it. Trust me, no man is going to do for her like Andrew's done for her. With everything written in this book that you did for her and her children from day one, she has the nerve to allow people to chirp in her ear, telling her that you were no good, and to leave you and listen to them? Why? All because you wasn't fucking her. Kent's busy telling people I live with my elderly parents. That's what happens when you, a narcissist, fucks up your life. You end up moving in back in with them. And I'm glad I'm here. I'm able to watch over my elderly father after the passing of his wife. And stop being envious that I have a loving family and you don't. Now watch what KW, KJ, Judy, and Lilith and their subscribers are wishing. They're wishing the death of my father so I could suffer. Narcissism, lack of empathy, and remorse. Thus they can do anything to you and not feel bad about it. Sick monsters. Now look what's occurring here on YouTube. Kim Wilson, according to her childhood friend that she went to school with, Michelle Titler, told me, Kim's known as the crackhead of Canada. Wanted for the death of one of her children's father from heroin overdose she administered. Please read Michelle's comments on my video, Red Flag number 261, Kim Wilson and the Narcissist. So Kim is the last one that should talk about drug addicts. I noticed Kim forming a Justice League alliance with KJ, the alcoholic, Judy Pinky of the second Buckles family is on drugs, sister known as Crackmania, and crackhead Candace Lewis, Lilith, who made a living sucking dick for crack rocks, and now substituting her crack addiction with sex addiction, to the point where Facebook knows her as the crack whore herpes prostitute. I'm not making these names up. These names are what people call them. Luther's busy telling people I'll never change because crackheads don't change. If that's true, that means Candace is still out there sucking dick for crack rocks. Which is why men are saying, and I quote, "She's perfect for 3 a.m. sloppy scumbag, humiliating, be gone before the sun comes up sex." Please watch Red Flag 113, The Whorish Behavior of a Narcissist. This collection of drug addicts on YouTube are attempting to make me look bad. Now, because of my vice, some people will instantly blame me because their experiences with people's vices were horrid. That's the narcissistic manipulation right there. Social stigma utilizes addicts as scapegoats. Prime example. I called my fiance 5 o'clock in the morning from another man's bed because he was on drugs. Does that sound logical to you? The person with the vice is always recognized as the person that's wrong, and that in itself is wrong. You don't have to be on drugs to be a fucked up person. That's the nature of narcissism. I discussed this factor in Red Flag number 51, Narcissists and Drug Addicts. Now let me explain the difference in the behaviors of addiction and narcissism. A person with a vice becomes narcissistic by outside influence. When a person is not using, they are decent in character. As soon as they take their first drink, that first hit of crack, that shot of heroin, they become a decent person immediately. Their whole characteristics becomes, negative characteristics becomes augmented. Extremely self-centered, angry, violent, one-track minded. They lose control over themselves, which is the reason for their behavior. Remove that influence, they're back to normal. With narcissists, there's no influence. Nothing can be done to make them normal. Any change you see in their behavior is because they didn't get their way. And they become drama queens and blow everything totally out of proportion, becoming neurotic. That's the emotional dysfunction. Makes it their duty to make life harder for everyone around them. For everyone around them. This is where I had to take a deep look at myself on whether or not I'm a narcissist. Red flag number 130, red flag number 37, are you a narcissist? Answer is no, because I didn't do the abusing. I'm reacting. And payback is not a narcissistic behavior. Payback has a purpose. Narcs can't give you a reason for what they do. That's why they go preschool when you ask them why. Kim Wilson is trying to make Lilith a victim and make me look like the crazy one. I didn't get crazy all by myself. I had help. Reese Daniel, just this morning, commented on a video of mine, and I quote, "Narcs make you feel deep, humiliating shame. They leave scars on your soul. So if you think about the shame they projected onto you, it hurts. Like intense, deep embarrassment. All because you're human. And the mistakes, or you have physical imperfections that you were born with, etc. Anything they can find to use against you, they will use it to make you feel deep shame. They believe they are gods. And so, they are the ultimate judges of those not of the same mutated genetics." Kim Wilson's makes a video about having the right to be angry, called "Are You an Angry Victim of Narcissistic Abuse?" But then makes a video undermining my pain, telling people, and I quote, "angry over nothing." Red flag! Contradiction is the sign of a narcissist. Run! This is a life coach telling you exactly what you want to hear and have exceptions for certain people. Red flag! Any coach that has exceptions is a phony fuck. Run! The Jezebel's doing the same thing. You can't see it with the naked eye. But if you concentrate on Jezebel's face, you will see a brown spot on her nose from brown-nosing Kim Wilson. Jezebel says about Lilith, and I quote, "She's a sweetheart fighting to cut the ties from him." A narc alters a person's life with deceit, lies, and wicked deeds. And they're defending her like lawyers. What do lawyers normally defend? Guilty people. War of the Roses movie, quote by Gavin. What do you call 500 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean? An excellent start. I used to resent jokes like that. Now I see them as simple truths. Kim Wilson and Kim Jezebel have sunk below the deepest layer of prehistoric frog shit at the bottom of a New Jersey swamp, scum swamp, and needs to be at the bottom of the ocean. Ain't no ocean high enough, deep enough. Imagine me befriending your narc, trying to make you look crazy. Anyone that knows my story in detail, like those that written reviews on Amazon, links in the description of this video, knows the crazy ones are Judy, Lilith, Kim, and Jezebel. Everyone knows what to expect from Jezebel. That's a ghetto fabulous trick. But Kim is expected to have class. And I'm exposing her to have none. In closing, drama queens always say, "I don't like drama in my life," or "I don't have time for this." Yet they are the ones in common with all the problems around them, too damn stubborn to admit they were wrong. Red flag! Run as fast as you can. Run! For the life coaches, throw shots at me, I'm throwing shots back at you. But I'm not going to go tick for tack with you, because my life's mission is bigger than you. Now you, Kim and Jezebel fans, can't place your thumbs down on this video because the truth hurts.